What's up, YouTube? Get your boy, your Jacqueline Robert or Ricks. Yep, we are back. Come close. Come in. Get in here. And I figured I would do a little update video just to help motivate motherfuckers to, not give up on the shit that they're trying to do. Because here's the thing: a lot of times you'll start out with an idea. And people talk about their ideas forever. Oh, I think I could do this, and this would be a good idea, and this would be a good idea, blah, blah, blah. Well, having the idea is part of it. This next part of it is kind of jotting ideas down. Then, after you've jotted things down, you start trying to take steps to solidify those ideas. So a good example would be mock-ups. So these are some mock-ups that I did early on. So I would give these to my developers and tell them this is what I wanted. So this is like a setup. Then you pick your keys. Then after you had your keys defined, then you would go ahead and pick your answer, your questions, and you would go from there. So we started this. When did we start this idea? Let's see if it has that information on the properties here. All right, so February 18th, 2021 is when it ended up over on this machine here. So it looks like February we started this core idea. And I worked with my developers and was like, hey, I want to get this shit done. This was a good idea. And they were the ones that helped me originally. This is my team. Helped me to realize the stream talking, right? So streamtalking.com was my very first project that I had my team help me with. And this was a thing to help me create, help me create an environment where I could let my users answer questions and then I could display it during my live shows. So anybody that watched my old real-time story time actually saw this stuff getting used, right? So if I went over to real-time story time and just brought up any of the newer ones and kind of jump forward. There we go. So this is the stream talking actually being used during a live stream. So I'd ask a question for people to put in keywords or phrases that I was using for the show, and then people put their stuff in, and then I used it while doing the show. So that was a cool example. So when I got started with the Devoid Gatekeeper, I had the idea of making a gatekeeper that was super difficult for anybody to crack into, but I wanted to do a system. Hey, what's up, Jeremy? I wanted to do a system where you didn't have to have a user account to access the system. That was the core idea here. And I wanted to do it in a way where it didn't matter what the images were, but there was a sequence of images that you would use to be able to get into the system. So in this example right here, I embedded a YouTube video and then put the question: what goes on 4 feet in the morning, 2 feet at noon, and then 3 feet in the evening? And if you didn't know, you could watch the video on it, and basically it's the answer is man. So you can hit M-A-N. So there's your answer. So let's just say it made a mistake and did that. Bang. Nope, sorry, that's wrong. Alright, well, what if it was this one? Bang. Nope, that's wrong. Now, what makes this really powerful is the fact that you could sit and do as many of these as you want until you get to about 50. 50 is the threshold. Okay, so here's 50 characters. So 50 answers out of 20 gives you a possible answer. This is the number of possible answers right there. Okay? That is a fucking ridiculously ridiculous. Looking for trigger words. Help me out here. Like, what do you mean trigger words? Like, what are you looking for, Jeremy? So, what's neat is you can specify how many keys to use, and then what the answer is. So here are some examples. We'll go to the next one. I did a fake game where you're a detective and you're trying to figure out who the suspects are, what's the motive, and what weapon was used to solve this particular thing. So you could have said, say the answer was, it was a conspiracy of a group of people, and the motive was money and drugs, and the gun and a knife was used in the crime. So that could be an answer. It's the wrong answer, but it could be it could be an answer. The correct answer would be this, this, and I think it was this. Nope. Okay, so I know it was her. I know it was jealousy. Is she fucking dealing with the guy? No. Huh. Yeah, Bondry. Let's see. Oh, MC blank would say blank time, hammer time. Okay, so, alright, so you just reload it. Boop. It was that. It was that. And then she bashed the motherfucker with a hammer. There you go. Answer. And there is an answer page that would come, but it doesn't exist. So that's why we get a nice little error message, which is fine. Doesn't matter. Alright, the other one is SciWest Edge. Phase 1, Early Access. This is another project that I'm working on. But this is one where, there's a question. Who can help elevate your business to help you compete? And then the answer is basically the name of the client, which is SciWest. This one, I really felt the need to do this one because me and the family played through episode 1 on this. We spent hours and hours and hours, probably 2 hours, figuring out what the murder weapon was out of all the different things on the forensic files and stuff that they had. And we were done, and what we got was an email. Right? So I got this email, and I was like, really? This is the reward right here. The reward is an email. And I thought, that's no good. So, using this system, there's a spoiler if anybody's doing this. If you're doing this one, don't pay attention right now. So this one, I pick the answer. I get the customized answer, for being successful, and then it loads up the URL. So what I did is I took the email, right? I did the congratulations, then I did the video. And so the video basically then.
I think you're right about the murder weapon. That cane isn't the only thing the police found in the attic that could have caused Viola's injuries, but the side.
And so I customized this, so this is a better payday. And then I just did this as an example, so this company can see that this is a good system to use. This is a good case study for Devoid, right? Like you can embed your hints, you can do your intro video stuff.
It belongs.
Where you're like showing stuff off.
Holding a diamond. Tell me you got the
And it's pretty cool the way they have everything set up. And they went as far as to create. I gotta change that hover color. Actually, I can do that right now. Watch this. Let me do this. Okay. So I just go down here to the hover color, and let's try red. Let's see how red looks. And this is kind of the whole setup get down of configuring the void piece. You got your header colors, you've got your welcome text, you've got your body text, your submit button color. You know, what should the label on the button be? Where are you having them go? You know, what's your footer background? The text on the footer, the link color, the link cover, your success message, your footer text. This is the logo or the image on the very top. You don't want it centered. Yep. What's the site? And even as far as specifying the fave icon, which is really cool. It's a really cool thing. So now I go back over here to this guy and we reload it. So now, yeah, see, there we go. That's what I want. That works. Another example is this is a mail by a mailing adventure. It comes to you as a little package, and then they have different chapters. So this is chapter 1 of the Curious Correspondence Club, and then this one, it required 2 sets of numbers to unlock the puzzle. So you had to put in a code, and then you put the next one in, and there you go. And that would get you to the answer that you needed. So that's pretty cool. Then I did one for myself. This is there we go. And this one I played with animated paints. So you see this one's got color to it, it's animated. We got a little video here, challenge question, and even the buttons down here are animated. So this one's pretty cool. And what this one is you know, if you want free audiobooks and free books, you know, crack the code. And you know, the question basically is, one of these books is from the future, it isn't written yet. It has kaiju and government conspiracies, which makes me happy. The second key is a book of collected stories with an unreleased story called Choices. Hey, what's up, Yakety Yak? So it's cool because, you know, here I kind of give a hint, right? Makes me happy. And then this thing right up here is the actual cover for Choices. So if you went through any of these little links and stuff, you'd actually see that. And so the answer to this one is this one and this one. And so you come down, boom, and you get the free stuff. Bingo! Here's all the free stuff. These are PDFs, 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 PDFs. Here's all the free books. And then the free audio stuff is right here. This is where all the free audio stuff is at. So, free audiobooks on the video. Here's one on the podcast. Videos, podcast, videos, and podcast. These ones aren't done yet, so I will be doing free audiobooks on that. And this also will give you the thing on choices because unreleased choices. So you can see it's a pretty cool little system. The other thing too that this is really useful for is because it's so hard to crack. It's so difficult because of just the number of permutations. I don't even know what this number is. I can't even say this number. 112-589-990-684-262-4000 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 sets of thousands of possibilities. And I got this off of this. 20 elements to choose. Order is definitely important, and repetition is allowed. Comes up with this number right here, which comes out to this number, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous. So, that's how this little idea that I came up with a long time ago, last year, and started working on this year, went from an idea to sketches to mock-ups to final product. This is a done deal. I'm actually showcasing this with different customers, potential customers, I should say. And then I even have other examples of things. So this one is like an esoteric type thing. So there's symbols here, and then the question is, according to ancient texts, what is the secret to rejuvenation and spiritual well-being? Some choices below will kill, some will heal. How well are you indoctrinated? Answer lies with the food of the monarch as well as the element we all need to survive. That is the order of things. So you can see there's hints inside of the questions that you do, and then basically the person would have to do it. Now here's what's kind of cool. I could talk to a person that I want to have access. I want that person to have access here. So this is the hint that people understand. Okay, they see the answer lies with the food, monarchs, butterflies like salt. Okay, and the element we all need to survive, water. Okay, so you say element, and there's a butterfly here as a hint, and then water. So you can see there's like a kind of a water effect right here. So that could be the answer. Now, I could have said verbally to a person, the answers are always in 3 sets. Okay, so then that would be the answer. Or I would say the answer is based on the day that I told you the hint. So let's say I told it to you on a Sunday. All right. So that's 7. Let's see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So then that would be 7 sets. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can see how this thing becomes absolutely impossible to brute force because you can set limits. You can say there's three attempts available. So now they're going and they're trying it, they're trying it, they're trying it, and trying it. And then, you know, I could say at the end, it's 7, but you're going to go ahead and use Mercury all the way until you're done, right? So there's no fucking way anybody would ever guess this, period. And what's cool is on the back end, where I'm building this, the target when you get it successful is just a URL. So I could have a zip file that I reference. I could have a page that I'm referencing. I could reference a YouTube video. It doesn't matter. This thing can put you anywhere you wanted to go. And if I had this on the main landing page, right, and then I said, okay, there are no help about whatever, but the URL is something like this. You know, there's no way that this would even be searchable because nobody would even know to look this up. So this is a great way for companies to do scavenger hunts, quizzes, interactive game systems, or a primary gatekeeper to lock the site down. And so I thought this is fucking completely awesome. So why am I showing this to you guys? Because this is an example of baby steps, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Finding a problem and then coming up with a solution, which is also what Stream Talking was. This was a solution to a problem that I had. I was doing a live show and I needed people to submit keywords and I didn't want to slow the show down, so I had people ahead of time go here and submit keywords. It was as simple as them going, putting their keywords. Let's see, did I ever do one? This is yucky. Let's see. There it goes. So now there's an answer in here. I can edit it, I can delete it again. This was something that I architected for a specific need, and then I opened it up so that the world could use it. But unfortunately, people didn't understand how to use it, which is really unfortunate because I set up some for like Nutjob, Aimer. My wife stopped doing this show, so it didn't matter on that. These guys, they may still end up doing something with it. I was definitely using it. I was planning on using it for the Sleuth Time Investigators, but that kind of changed up a little bit. Knife and Gear Society, I have something set up for them. Wingman 115, there's something set up for them. Tops is something set up for them. Obviously, Magic Really Sucks set up. A friend of mine, Scott Sigler, is an author. I had something set up for him. And then there was something for Monarchy USA that was kind of a conspiracy site that never really got off the ground yet. So, but anyway, what it does is it allows streamers to create questions. So for Angry Jackalope, for example, let's see, where's the Angry Jackalope one? I think it's here. Go to this channel. Inside your Angry Jackalope, view the stream. So there's questions. What conspiracy-based topics are you interested in? Let me know what you think. So I could put, I don't know, MK Ultra. Let's do that. MK Ultra. Right? Boom. And then when I wanted to display this during a live stream, everybody's posts were up in here. You know, so there was stuff for streamers, and you had your own profile. It was okay and free for you to go and do whatever you wanted. And then you could just follow the streamers that you like. And so that was the game plan there. But again, all of this stuff really is just an illustration of focused will to get something done. So you say, I want to do this. And a lot of us do that. A lot of us say, hey, I'd like to do this, or I'd like to invent something that does this, okay? Or write a book, or whatever. Doesn't matter what the task is. The formula is always the same. One, you need to come up with a base game plan. Like, what is it? What does it do? How does it do it? Etc. Then, you need to write it down. You need to write your notes down and start sketching and figuring stuff out. And then you need to execute. Sometimes you can jump straight from idea to execution if you have it so clear in your head on what it is, and you can start acting on it. So, for example, I want to write a book. I've got an idea in my head. I don't need to go and jot notes or anything down. I can just sit and write, because that's how I write my stories. I don't outline. I don't plan. I just sit and write. That's how I do my stuff. I've been talking with a lot of other writers, and some writers will complain that they have a hard time with the ending, as an example. And so my advice to that person was, well, fuck the book, figure out your ending first. So you're going to write your ending first, and then once you have your ending done, then you're just kind of backtracking all the way to the beginning and then you're writing from there because you know where your ending destination is going to be. And then some people, they're like, oh, I can't even do that. So then those people, I say, well, do your outlines. Outline your base storyline, what it is that you want to do, and then write and then go back. One thing I keep hearing over and over and over and over from people, though, is, oh, I can't write because when I start to write, I overthink it and I can't finish it and blah, blah, blah. Look, nobody expects you to sit down and bang out a book in lickety split, like boom, right? There's some people who work on their books for like 10 years. There's some people that work on ideas for a long time, okay? What I'm saying is you won't get to the end until you start. You actually have to start. It doesn't matter if you fuck up. It doesn't matter if you get it completely wrong. The fact that you are making progress towards it, you're stepping and stepping and stepping and stepping and stepping and moving towards it, that's the important part, okay? Too many people get obsessive over the details. Stop fucking wasting time and just get to it. That's what you got to do. It's like, okay, you don't like your body and you want to change your body and everything else. Well, sitting and planning and thinking 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 doesn't really do anything until you actually put hand to metal and start fucking working, right? When you start to do the thing, that's when the thing starts to happen. You can't just sit back and wish for something to happen because the probability of that happening is very, very, very small. You actually have to be the catalyst to get that stuff going. And I just illustrated to you guys multiple projects that were done outside of my normal working day. In addition to being a father, a husband, a sometime YouTuber, a writer, a person who has multiple clients that I'm dealing with on a regular basis, I still eke out time to get this stuff done. It's kind of like the analogy of how to eat a fucking whale, one bite at a time. You have to start and work at it. Now, there'll be days you have failure. You have days where an idea doesn't quite go the way it's supposed to. The fact that stream talking didn't get leveraged and used like I had hoped it would did not dissuade me from keeping at it. You saw ads on there. It took 5 submissions to Google to allow them finally to allow ads to be served on the site because I wanted the site to basically be free for anybody. But if you needed more questions or you wanted to get rid of ads, then there was, I think it was like 10 or 20 bucks a month or something like that. And it gave you additional slots for additional questions and stuff. So if you were doing a lot of live streaming, then it made sense. But it did take off because I think it was too difficult for people to understand and see the value of it, right? Because a lot of times people, when they're streaming, they might have a team. I'm unique. I don't have a team. I'm a company in a group of one. So when I sit and I drop these videos or I do whatever, I'm doing everything. I'm doing the art, I'm doing the audio, I'm doing the videography, I'm doing all of the pieces that go into whatever you guys see on the channel or anywhere else of the stuff that I do, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. Okay? So what this basically means is with effort, you should see results of some kind. And don't be upset if that ends up in failure. Because I guarantee you, as you go this path and you fail, you're going to learn a lot of shit. And that's really what it comes down to. Learning, finding solutions. So as you're going through this and you're creating stuff, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be music, you're writing a song. It could be a video. You're trying to put a video series together. Write your ideas down, think it out, figure out your shooting schedule, your production things and stuff. That's the kind of person you are. Or if you're a wild, crazy motherfucker, you grab your camera, head out to the spot, grab your gear, and say, oh, I'm going to bring my knife. I'm going to go over to that dead tree, and I'm going to carve a fucking face into it. I'm going to shoot that, and I'm going to say, leaving my mark in nature with a small blade, right? Whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as you are doing something. That's the key. That's the key. You can't sit and overthink things. You've got to execute. And if you're not executing, you're just spinning your wheels. And then what happens is people get really bummed out because time goes by and they're sitting in the same fucking rut over and over and over, and they're like, oh man, I hate this. I hate this. Okay, so what does this mean for the rest of the world and the bigger picture? Okay? What this means is instead of people just being consumers and just working a dead-end job and then taking their money and then consuming stuff and going in a little rat race, you can actually be one of the outline people that come up with solutions that make the world a better place, that impact other people. So you might be saying, well, that's hard. No, it's not. It's not hard at all. An easy way for you to impact somebody else's life is as you're doing your day-to-day stuff and you're affecting change and you're being a positive influence on this fucking planet. The simple kindness that we do or we would like from other people, we can do to strangers. You tell them thank you. You say, please. You can be, I appreciate your hard work, right? You could point out things that people do to help them out, make them feel better. Now, as you're going your route and you're creating something, that also elevates the world. Here's a perfect example. I am a rock collector, as an example. Okay? I am a super duper passionate rock collector. I love rocks and crystals to the point where I know the scientific name and I know the esoteric qualities of each of these stones, and I know which country they're indicative of, and I know what happens if you shine a certain light on everything. Now, everything takes practice. Everything you have to work at. Okay, you have to work at. But some things are easier than others. If, for example, I am a complete rock hound and I love stuff, I would be like this. Oh, and then this stone right here, this comes from Brazil, and this is a palm stone because it fits in the palm, and you can use it like a worry stone. Now you see there's animation, there's energy, and it's coming through, and you're feeling it. Okay. Now this is an example of somebody forcing something that they may not necessarily be up to speed with. They might like it, but they're not quite passionate, right? So they might say, so this rock, it comes from Brazil, and it's a palm stone because of its shape and possible use. Now, both of those are equally fine, right? Because they're sharing the information with other people in the audience and things of that nature. One of those, though, had more energy and more oomph that comes through to the viewer, and you're more engaged and you're feeling it more. We all have seen certain YouTubers that the shit they're talking about. Oh my god, they love it. They're geeking out over it. They're passionate about it, and it's contagious. That's the key point I want to point out. When you're a creator and you're creating things, you're creating software, you're creating music, you're creating movies, you're creating videos, you're creating comedy, whatever it is, all of those things are positive because in the process of creation, it's going to elevate somebody. It's going to give somebody a higher frequency of happiness because as they are consuming that content, they're feeling it and they're enjoying it. That's also kind of the risk of being just a consumer. You're getting the vibes and you're getting the stuff that's being presented to you. And some people use the different mediums to actually push bad things, okay? Because our mind and subconscious can't tell, especially subconscious, can't tell the difference of what we're viewing, what we're watching, okay? And sometimes they like to sneak evil shit in what's viewed as positive. So as we're happy and we're feeling something and we're experiencing it, our minds are wide open for a broadcast, okay? But that's a whole different thing. What I'm talking about is it being used correctly in a way to elevate other people, to bring happiness to other people. That's why when it comes to stuff like music, for example, like I will support independent bands all day, every day, especially live venues. Like I love it. And then there, unfortunately, is a point when some bands will get to the gatekeeper And the gatekeeper says, okay, you want to get this next level of success, what are you going to pay for it, right? Because there's always a price for stuff. When we're in a creating process, we're paying with our effort, we're paying with our time, we're paying with the blood, sweat, and tears that you put towards endeavor, something that you're doing, okay? So there are some people, though, they get to the point, they've made the sacrifices, they've done all the work and everything, they get to a certain level of success, and then the evil fuckers come a knocking and say, well, we can get you all the way up here, but you kind of have to, sorry. But, and it's funny because a lot of people don't believe in that shit. They're like, no, bullshit. Okay, all right, whatever. You don't have to. All I'm saying is there comes a point where we see our artists change. They go from independent, raw, beautiful, just wonderful experiences to overly polished, overly produced, okay music, right? When they go mainstream, that's when shit gets fucked up, right? So, yeah, Joe Flowers is a good example of passion. Joe is a passionate motherfucker. When you see him talking about his shit, woo-hoo, he just goes through the roof. But when you create and you put the time and effort in, two things happen. One, you end up with stuff that you can show off. You can say, I made this. And those little bits of success of things that you have done will also be catalyst to fuel to push you later. Because you can point to those things and say, well, I learned from this. I succeeded in doing this when everybody told me that's impossible. That's impossible. You can't do that. Nobody does that. No, Rob, you dumb. You can't do that. Oh, really? Well, fuck. I'm dumb. I'm going to do it anyway. I've done that my entire career. And, I think anybody basically can put effort in and succeed at something. Anybody can learn. It's going to be infinitely easier when there's something that you love or you're passionate about. So, for example, let's say Joe down the street. Darren's got Joe in my head here. But Joe down the street loves knives. Loves knives. But he has yet to find the knife that fits the bill for his particular needs. His need set. Like, knives are almost there, but there's a piece missing. And he starts sketching stuff out, and he starts talking to other makers, and everybody tells him, no, that's possible. It's impossible to do what you're talking about. Nobody does it that way, blah, blah, blah. But he's like hell bent. He's like, no, fuck that noise. I'm going to do this because I know in my heart there is a blade that is going to encompass exactly what I want. And so he works and he toils at it and he's bump, and then he makes it, okay? And the world looks at it as his creation, and they're split because they're kind of like, yeah, it's an interesting idea, but I don't know if it's feasible. Well, here's a good example. The Forex Punisher that Daniel Sturtle made has an interesting blade profile on the tip here, right? It's a weird wedge, and the way he designed it. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. And in use, by helping me pry and having strength and everything else, it quickly became a very favorite design of mine that Topps had manufactured off of his Relentless design. And so there's a perfect example of somebody who was thinking outside the box, said, fuck it, I'm going to do things my way, and he did. And that's awesome. There's room for improvement pretty much on everything. And we all have our own likes and dislikes and preferences and things of that nature. So you're going to bring your own personal, distinct signature, your own flavor to something that you're going to tackle. Because here's the honest to God truth. There is nothing really new under the sun. Like, pretty much most of the innovative ideas have been done. Now we're lucky if we see these mashups of different genres and subgenres of different things kind of coming together to create something uniquely different, right? And that is what you bring to the table. your idea is not a brand new idea. It might be a derivative idea or amalgamation and mashing of different things. So, for example, my gatekeeper software that I came up with for all practical purposes. Where's my link? It was right here. Okay, so this idea right here with putting in a password, for example, is not new. We are all familiar with putting in passwords. Okay, so what I did. Hey, what's up, C? What's up, Chrissy? How you doing? How you doing? I think that's Chrissy. I can't tell by the icon. It's either Chrissy or Connor. I can't tell. Which one are you? What's up, Connect? What's up, Connect? So passwords. We've all seen passwords. That's not a big deal. Okay. Now passwords based off of images. Well, we've seen some stuff like that too with CAPTCHA and some other stuff, right? With images, you see an image and then you have to click the images, like show me all of the motorcycles. I could do something like that with this as well. Now, what makes this unique, right? What makes this unique is the fact that this could be images, this could be numbers, this could be a letter, this could be a color, this could be any number of abstracted things where you have to come up with the answer, and it's on you to know the owner or to find the hints in the question that makes this unique. That's the unique rawness that I brought to this particular solution. I flipped the concept of a password on its ear and added some other variables to it, which ultimately gave me a password solution at its most complicated, having possible combination permutations. I'm still struggling with that word, of this number. That is the number of times that somebody would have to guess to come up with the right answer. That's the range of numbers that if you did 20 images and there's 50 different possibilities, and it is a definitely unique solvable solution where numbers or letters can't be repeated, that gives me this ridiculously monster number that somebody is not going to be able to hack. Now, you might be like, well, fuck it, we'll attack the database. There's no database for this. All these images are stored in an array inside of a file that is owned by root a few folders away that the system can reference, but you can't reference via the web page. So, hacking this is very difficult. Very difficult. And then the funny thing is, you go through all the hassle to hack this to get a potential URL, which is the answer. Because when you answer, this thing takes you to something. It takes you to a file, or something. And basically, if I have any inkling that somebody is trying to hack my stuff, I just go into the URL and I change that bitch to google.com. So they stuck a quantum computer on this to try to hack this shit. Good luck, right? I go in and I change it. There's no database. Everything I do is real time. So let's say after the fact, you go and seize the servers at DigitalOcean where this shit is being housed at, okay? And you take apart the database. Well, who gives a shit? I'm not the database, the hard drive. Well, what the fuck do? You take the hard drive apart, but the last thing that I saved on this bitch was google.com. So you still don't have any information on where it was going, okay? Because web servers don't save external URLs. They will save incoming requests. So every time you hit a web page, it has your IP address. It has a bunch of other geotag information. But the web servers typically don't save outgoing traffic. Now, if you were really, really, really super, super, super like super spy and you wanted the information, sure, you can go at you can go along the trace route, and then hit every box along the way, and then grab all the caching from the ISPs, and then take that information. Sure, yeah, you could do that. But again, if I had multiple systems that these were going to that are acting like little proxies or whatever else, all I'd have to do is just go to the destination where the file is at, as an example, delete the file, and if that was a virtual machine and I destroyed that virtual machine, well then now there's nothing left. There's nothing left for any Snoopy Snoops to go after, and that was kind of the first step of devoid. So devoid is spelled this way for a very specific reason. So it's digital voices, zero ID. So the system is designed in such a way where I could create stuff. I use Gatekeeper to prevent any unwanted people from coming in and looking at it, and then you use Gatekeeper to access the actual payload. Because I also have another thing I'm building right now called a broadcaster, where you'll be able to shoot information out to your viewers or your family or your friends or whatever else, and that information also is being kept inside of the devoid environment. So that's a whole nother bit of software that I'm working on. So you could do, so Kinet says, if the system was intelligent enough to know it was under attack and then spoof its own address to point attackers elsewhere, that would be pretty special. And that'd be pretty easy to do. So if I took, because remember I told you every unique viewer that comes to the page, okay? So if they hit the page and they get, I set a threshold. Let's say I let that IP address fail 9 times, okay? So after the 9th fail, then I say, send it to, give it a fake success on the 10th effort, and then point it to, PersianKitty.com, right? Or Pornhub.com or some other fucking place, right? And that could happen. And that could be another thing inside of the Gatekeeper. You could do honeypot scenarios where it looks like that's the actual solution, but maybe instead of giving them the actual solution, what I really wanted them to do was fail, okay? So this is perfect. So this will be a fail scenario. So I fail. And then right in here, maybe the payload is inside of this, okay? So I want you to go to 3 different websites. So you go to 3 different websites. You fail on the 3 different ones, and then I'd say I want you to take the first word, second word, third word, and those are going to be the password on that 4th hidden location. So there's a lot of things you could do a lot of fun stuff with Gatekeeper. So Gatekeeper could be used scavenger hunts. So I tell people, you're going to get the next Gatekeeper by going to 7-Eleven. On 7-Eleven, over the beer section, okay, there's going to be a Deadpool image, and Deadpool is going to be holding a sign. Now, that sign might be a word, it might be a series of images, it might even be some kind of a puzzle itself. So then they use that, and they come back, and they answer it. They say, oh, the answer to that Deadpool thing was man, right? Bam, 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 bam. And they put it, they hit submit, not on the next scavenger hunt thing, okay? And that one, those could be modified so that there's timers on it. So now the Gatekeeper becomes a game system. It becomes a system of itself. So now it's an interactive scavenger hunt game system that's tied into real-world marketing. So I have these regional. So I'm like, okay, you're in San Francisco. Here's all the stuff in San Francisco. Okay, you're inside of San Jose. Here's one for San Jose. Oh, you're over inside of New York. Here's one for New York. Right? Each one is different. Each one has a thing. Each one has its own leaderboard. And, now you have your quasi-escape room kind of game mixed in with real-world scavenger hunts. And that's what I'm saying. It's really important to just kind of bring your uniqueness to a particular situation to solve the problems. And it gets even better when you get a collaborative environment where you have like-minded individuals working in tandem with you or in conjunction with you. You guys are working together to come up with novel ideas that are also just amalgamations and mashing up of different concepts to do things that nobody else is doing at the moment. Now, the funny thing is, what's old is new again. So a lot of times something that was done years and years and years ago kind of dies to obscurity and then gets dusted off later and is used again. That's what I said. There's usually, to my knowledge anyway, I have not seen anything brand new that was not a derivative or an expansion on something else, computers included. Computers are just an extension of mathematics. If you go back to the Turing model and everything else, you'll see how there was an evolution in computers. And then people took that stuff and they built on top of it and took that and built on top of it. So now we have what we're looking at right now, what you're looking at. So it's really cool to realize that you can do something that makes the world a better place. Just one person. Because remember, we've always heard one person can make a difference. And we've always kind of followed that train of thought and overthought it and made it really difficult. When the reality is, you can make the world a better place by just learning how to master a fucking joke. And when people are sitting around you really bumped out, you drop that fucking joke, even if it's inappropriate timing, and everybody just starts busting out laughing, you made the world a better place. Just by that action. That's really all it comes down to. Creating environments and creating solutions and creating ideas that make people happy. That's not hard. It's really easy to make other people happy. So the very first one you should start with is figuring out yourself. Because once you figure out what makes you happy, it's pretty easy then to kind of figure out what makes other people happy too. Because you're just basically going to share the shit that makes you happy, and somebody's going to either resonate with it or not. Because as we're sending out frequencies, people that are also on that same, okay, back it up. So we're all radio stations, okay? I might be 97.7 FM, okay? So I'm like modern rock and fun, okay? I got a fun talk show, whatever. Somebody else might be on, 106.7 country, okay? Another person might be on heavy metal, and that's why it's on hip hop, all right? So we're all listening on FM, okay? So that's a frequency, FM, but we're also listening to subgenres of music, okay? Now, abstract that a little bit differently. So now instead of music, let's just say A, B, C, and D. Okay? Now I'm on FM and I'm broadcasting A. Now the people that resonate with A are going to feel me. Okay? And they're going to understand, and I might drop a joke and it's going to resonate. I drop a joke, the other ones, maybe not. There might be some things, that's funny, it's inappropriate, but it's funny, I get it, right? The other's like, oh, that's fucking horrible, fuck off, you're an asshole. Okay. Now, point into a keylogger, hack the hacker. Exactly. So now, let's complicate things. Now there's an AM. Okay? Well, AM is not understanding shit that the FM's doing, and FM in turn is looking at AM like, what the fuck, dude? Seriously. Okay? That's kind of our world right now. We got a lot of different frequencies, AM, FM, just to, keep those two for right now, keep it simple. And then we've got genres under those frequencies, A, B, C, D. Okay? A, B, C, D. And then extrapolate that out. Well, now you can kind of understand why there's always kind of a division and there's always kind of a conflict, because these radio frequencies are battling each other, right? Predominance. The A on the FM wants to be the predominant broadcast. And so their narrative and their messaging they're pushing out, and they've got the big power behind them. So they're pushing. And the more that people are listening to that A frequency, they become like that A frequency. That's how you have people with certain ideologies or certain belief systems that are just so set in stone. You can't sway them, move them. You can't turn their knob. Their knob is broke. It won't go anywhere, right? And then you have some people, like myself, that is constantly scanning the frequencies, kind of checking out different things. And I like that. I get that. And that's kind of how you should be. You should be open up enough where you can grab these different frequencies and see what's going on and then see. Now, you don't want to be stuck in the AM, right? You don't want to be stuck down in the lower frequencies. because the lower frequencies are what encompass fear, anger, hatred, rage, all those other things. Those are more dense frequencies. They're more heavy and impactful, right? And those are the things that weigh us down. You want to be more FM and beyond. You want the other frequencies. You want these other higher frequencies that encompass things like joy, laughter, bliss, love, etc. That's where you want to be. You want to be able to broadcast and broadcast yourself, and you also want to receive. But again, you don't want to limit yourself and get stuck. It's all about opening it up and getting as much as possible. That's why you challenge yourself. You go, I got an idea. I want to do this idea. Fucking do it. You got the idea. Fucking do it, right? And then you say, well, I want to help people. Okay, but wait. In what way do you want to help people? Figure out the little things, but don't overthink it. People spend too much time thinking in their head. They get too much time in their head, and they overthink, and they waste the time for action. Some things you want to plan for, but that planning part, the writing down, that's to get you going. Your brain has to say, okay, I'm going to do this. We're going to do this. And your subconscious says, fuck yeah, let's do it. And then your action, that's the ignition, that's the fire, that's your me, myself, and I, okay? The three pieces to get it rocking, right? Your brain says, okay, I want to do this. Subconscious says, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And then the ignition, right? The initiative, the effort to go, boom, you go, right? That's it. That's really all you have to focus on, because the reality is, if you are onto something and you're passionate about it, there are going to be other people that are going to feel your passion, and they're going to want to be part of it, and that's where sometimes people get investors. My Street Warrior shit, I fucked up the whole pitch to our very first investor guy. He said, you have 15 fucking minutes with me to talk. I did not know this guy. I didn't know how to pitch. I didn't know anything, but I went in and I was passionate. Whoa, yeah, this is going to be this. An hour and a half later, he's just smiling at me. And he goes, this is a hedge fund, right? And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means. I just know you got money. I need money. I have an idea. I want to do this. Fast forward 3,000 hours after of hardcore editing, designing, and everything else, and I had a card game called The Street Warriors done, and that guy who originally said you got 15 minutes gave me the hour and a half because of the passion, and he straight said, you know what, I'm going to give you money just because you might fuck around and make it, just because you have so much passion. I'm paraphrasing because this is years ago, but the gist of the conversation. And the funny thing is, we called that guy Chris the Millionaire. And he was a cool fucking dude. And by working with him and learning with him and another guy, James Lynn, and Dave Tobin, I learned a whole lot about how investment works, how people come in, how they work with businesses. And Chris, incidentally, we call him Chris the Millionaire. Well, his name is Chris Hansen, not from, hi, I'm here to catch a predator, but this is Chris Hansen, whose company was instrumental in funding Facebook. So yeah, I fucked around and had the wonderful experience and honor of working with some people that would later become industry giants. Okay, unfortunately, I can't talk to Chris anymore. I would love to sit and bounce ideas off of him. I'd love to talk to James Lynn. I'd love to talk to Dave Tobin. But they're at a different part of my life from the past, and I'm now doing other stuff. That's how life is. You have these adventures, you execute, you kick ass, you go for it, and that's it, right? And you want to constantly learn. You don't ever want to just stay stagnant. The minute you're in a situation where you cease to learn, you're no longer moving forward. Your brain will start to wither. Your brain will start to go, you know what I mean? You always want to keep your brain challenged. Incidentally, another good thing to do that I'm now realizing, old as I am, you also want to constantly be challenging your body. Your body and your brain are parts of the equation, and your spirit, your soul, needs nurturing too. So you need to do your brain, your body, and your soul. And the best way to do those things is to constantly challenge yourself, push yourself beyond what you think you can do. I always tell my kids, if you want to get to the top of the mountain right here, fuck the mountain. Don't aim for the mountain. What you want to do is you want to aim higher. You can say, fuck, I'll go for the stars. Fuck it, go even higher. You're aiming for the moon. Fuck that. All right, fuck it, you're going for Mars. Okay, fine. You aim for Mars and you hit low, well, hit the moon. Well, fuck, you still hit 2 magnitudes higher than that mountain that you originally were aiming for. Okay? That's how you got to do it. My brother taught me a thing a long time ago about fighting. Okay? He would say, like, I'd go to throw a punch at somebody, and I'd go to throw a punch, and I'd stop right there. But I'd stop right there. And what was happening is I was pulling my punch at the last possible second because subconsciously my brain was like, dude, if I hit this motherfucker full force, there's a chance I'm going to break my hand. There's a chance I'm going to hurt myself. Okay? So my subconscious mind was looking out for me. Said, okay, pull that shit. Okay, well, that doesn't work out very well in a fight. So I was telling my brother, God damn it, we've been so trained in fighting and everything that I'm pulling my punches. My brother said, hey, I got a trick. Works really well. Here's the skull. Aim for the back and inside of the skull. Here's the face. Here's the inside of the skull. You're aiming for here. Okay? Well, subconsciously, when I'm aiming for the face right here, it was pulled right here. But if I'm going beyond that and I'm trying to hit the inside of the skull, well, I'm just mashing that face and going straight through. First fight I got in after that with that mentality, blah, blah, one hitter quitters. Okay? It's the same concept. You aim higher than what the target is. That way you will almost guarantee hit that target or exceed that target. Not to be, overly graphic with shit, but that's the illustration to help you understand that concept. That's a real world example of aiming beyond the target to actually achieve the goal. And it was a little modification, and then the next time was landing the punches the way I needed to land the punch. And that's also the problem when you do training of a certain type and you got gear on and everything and they're telling you can't headshot, you got to pull your punches for points and everything else. When you train, you want to train how you're going to fight, okay? And that's kind of a brutal way, but that way you don't get stuck like I did where I was pulling punches at that last possible second. And that's what life does for us. Our life is teaching us pull those punches, pull those punches, pull those punches. Fuck that. You're going for that inner skull. That's what you want to do. You want to hit them. You want to hit Mars when you're aiming for this mountaintop. And then that way, what could stop you? You know what I mean? If you put the effort, and you put the energy, and you put the ingenuity, and you just rock that shit, and you say to yourself, fuck it, I will not be stopped. You become, in effect, a fucking Terminator. See that scene. It will not stop until you are dead. Well, okay, that's the same thing. You want to get that mindset of a fucking Terminator where it doesn't matter what anybody else says. You're going to get there, right? You're going to get to that fucking goal. You don't care what anybody else says. Anybody else says some shit, fuck them. They need a dick. You're going to get there. But here's the key. And this is where a lot of things fail with entrepreneurs and everything else. It has to happen here. You have to believe that you're going to rock that shit. You have to believe that you can get to Mars in the first place. If you can't even believe that in your mind, then your subconscious is going to fight against you. And your subconscious, you've got to have the subconscious. If your subconscious is not working with you, it's working against you, and you will lose every fucking time. And that's why it's super duper important on how you label yourself, how you describe yourself, how you describe the shit that you want to do. Oh shit, Kinetic, you don't have to do that, brother. I appreciate the fuck out of that. You don't have to do that shit, man. You push. If your subconscious is aligned with you, it's a Tao thing. It's like it's mind, body, spirit. When you got that alignment, nothing can fucking stop you. But you gotta want it. And the minute that you want it, and your brain is telling you, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do this. Booyah. Booyah. I'm telling you, man, I swear to God. You want proof? Watch this. I'm going to give you motherfuckers some proof right now. All right, let's just go right here. We'll go thestreetwars.com. Okay? Okay, streetwars.com. If I go, let's see your card data. Pop this one and say open a new tab. All right, I did all of these. I designed all of these cards. Everything you see here, all of it, all of it, all of it. These are all rendered and done in Photoshop and everything else. What was there? There was a total of 235 cards, and we even did some beta stuff after the fact. We were doing stuff with IDOS and a few other things. Yeah, I had RVD. That's Rob Van Dam, a wrestler. He was walking around rocking our shit. I'm a player. These were card stuff that I was working on for the next set. So that was an accomplishment, right? Okay. Okay. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. We're not done. We're not done. We're not done. Oh, fuck it. Let's do this. Amazon author Robert R. Ricks. Oh. Let's see here. Is there there is an author page. I'm trying to find that damn author page real quick. Bam, bam, bam. Author page. Maybe it's this one. Is it this one? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Look at my head all cut off. Looks like a fucking retard here. This is anthology, full book. This is a novella, full book, a workbook journal. These are different variations, like some of these are EPUBs. This is a journal, this is a journal, this is a journal, this is a journal. Journal. You can see I did all of these. Every last one of these fucking things, right? All of those. You can buy them. Okay, so I did that. Built software. You guys have been showing you the software right here. Hang on, there we go. Software. Then was doing a show. Right? Where every Sunday I was having you good fuckers come up and give me keywords, and then I had 2 minutes to figure a fucking story out. And then look at all this content. Look at all this content we created. The people that contributed their keywords and stuff, and then I made stories based off of them. That was a collaborative environment. So all of you guys that helped and made keywords and contributed, you were co-creators with me in this effort. Okay? And if you had joy and you were having a good time while you were listening to these fucking stories, then booyah, success, right? That's what I'm saying. Proofs in the pudding. I'm about to drop a whole another set of books and training and everything else for all you motherfuckers. And the proof will be in the motherfucking pudding, as they say. So, I really hope after this shit you guys have a little bit of motivation, a little bit of fire in your heart to say, you know what? Fuck yeah, bro, I can do this shit. I can do this shit too. What am I passionate about? What would I like to do? What would I want to affect change with? And it could be simple. It could be like, you know what? I'm going to make an effort to have a positive fucking mindset. So every time out in the cesspool of society where you got all these negative Nancy's running around talking shit and everything else, I'm going to be the one that's like, you know what? It ain't no thing but a chicken wing. And it is what it is, motherfucker. You know what I mean? And you don't let the world get you down. Just by you ignoring the negativity and not letting it affect you, you now have changed your frequency. You have gone from AM to FM, motherfucker. You're now running around FM. And as FM, now you can start broadcasting positivity in your own way. Because everybody's got their own fucking style. Everybody's got their own uniqueness on how to present shit. And you'll see what that means. You'll see how your key for the shit I'm going to be unleashing on motherfuckers. So the shit that I'm going to unleash, you're going to get for free. And then in turn, you can take that same shit, change it up in your words and the way you want to present on your FM channel, and you're going to fucking broadcast to the world that level of positivity that motherfuckers ain't going to be ready for. So I'm gonna quote a very famous movie. Who's coming with me? Who's coming with me? Huh? Who's gonna rock this shit, motherfuckers? That's all I need to know. Who's gonna be down to be light bearers to help bring that positive message by the examples now. This is kind of like being a Reliant member. I'm relying on you motherfuckers. Who's going to go out and make the world a better place one person at a time? Who's coming with me? All right, guys, that's it. If you like it, please subscribe, share, friends, far wide. Until next time, motherfuckers, please forget yourself, forget each other. Grab the lights to the fullest, spread the bus to the west, follow on the house, some tradition, get some scars, and all that jazz, and I'll see you motherfuckers very, very, very soon.